Ghost Talk with 187 PI. Sit back and prepare yourselves for an adventure into the paranormal world with host Shelley Robertson and 187 PI research team. Ghost Talk is broadcasting live from Ohio's most haunted jail. Listen as they delve into the history of the old and haunted Paulding County Jail, where some of the residents still live within its walls. Learn about their ongoing research at the jail and abroad, investigation techniques, and their personal encounters. Here is your host of Ghost Talk and 187 PI founder, Shelley Robertson.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ghost Talk Radio. We have a fantastic and interesting show planned for you tonight. So far on each show, as the weeks have went by, I have been introducing all the members of my research team to all you listeners out there. So far over the weeks, you've met Toby and Kristen, Rhonda and Rob. Tonight, I have one last introduction to make. His name is Vincent Robertson. Not only is my husband, but he is also co-owner of the jail and all of our paranormal ventures. Tonight, we will be discussing international ghost accounts. Hello, Vincent. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Let's start off with you telling our listeners a little bit about you.
All right. Hello, everyone. To give you a little background about myself, my mother was born in Japan. She's half Japanese, half Hawaiian, and my father's black. After high school, I joined the United States Navy, where I trained in aviation ordnance, building bombs, rockets, missiles, and took orders to Yokosuka, Japan, stationed on the USS Independence. I later took a job building cellular towers, upgrading and troubleshooting, and installing new services for all the cellular carriers, which is my current job. In my spare time, I help out with 187 PI, make repairs to the jail, and help design the escape games. I was very skeptical about the paranormal at first. I'm that type of person who will overanalyze everything before accepting them. But since purchasing the jail, my eyes have opened and I've become more receptive, and I'm a believer now.
And that's awesome, Vincent. Now, I want you to tell everybody, what would you say was your tipping point that turned you, from a total skeptic to being a believer of the paranormal?
I would say it was one of the first days we came back to the jail, knowing that we are the only ones that have a key to the building, and finding those dolls sitting in the front room in a circle around a bunch of other small toys that have been placed in that room.
Yeah, and those toys weren't here to begin with.
Right. I was about ready to turn around and leave.
Right. Now, with both of us, being of blended nationalities, Vincent being Japanese, black, and Hawaiian, and me mostly of German and Irish descent. I got just a smidge of American Indian. We thought it would be fun and quite interesting to explore some international ghost accounts, starting first with our main nationalities. I want to first say to everyone out there listening tonight, if anyone wants to visit any of the places we talk about tonight, please get permission, because some international trespassing laws could be pretty harsh, much more severe than here in the United States. So, Vincent has some fascinating accounts, starting with Japan, and ghosts are a little bit different in Japan from here in the United States. I want to mention that we do have a photo album called International Ghost Accounts with some of the pictures of the places we will be talking about tonight. That can be found on our Ghost Talk Radio Facebook page. And just go to Facebook, type in Ghost Talk Radio, and we should pop right up, and that album is on that page. So, Vincent, what are the ghosts of Japan?
All right. Well, first, a ghost in Japanese is called obake or bakemono, and are classified as yokai, creatures of Japan's Japanese folklore. A yurei is a word made of two kanji, yu meaning faint or dim, and rei meaning soul or spirit. There's the bore, which is a ruined or departed spirit. The Shinro, which is a dead spirit. So once again, the yokai or obake is a ghost.
Okay, so when we hear you say yokai, it's actually in English, that means a ghost.
It's a ghost.
Okay.
Okay, now a reikon is a spirit or soul in traditional Japanese beliefs. When a person dies, the reikon leaves the body and enters a form of purgatory, waiting on proper funeral and post-funeral rites to be performed so that they can rejoin their ancestors.
Okay.
If done correctly, it is believed that the reikon becomes a protector over the living family and returns yearly in August during the Oban festival, a Buddhist Confucian custom of 500 years. Now, if a person dies in a sudden or violent manner, such as murder or suicide, the rites are not performed, influenced by powerful emotions such as a desire for revenge, love, jealousy, hatred, or sorrow. The reikon is thought to be transformed into the yurei, which can bridge the gap back to the physical world. The emotion or thought need not be particularly strong or driving. Even the most innocent thoughts can cause a death to become disturbed. Once thought enters the mind of the dying person, the yurei will come back to complete the last action it was thinking of before returning to the cycle of reincarnation. Now, the yurei will remain until it can be laid to rest, either by performing the missing rituals or resolving the emotional conflict that ties it to the physical world. Often, the lower the social ranking of the person dying violently or those who were treated harshly during their life, the more powerful their yurei will return.
So the people that were really poverty-stricken or severely bullied or ridiculed throughout their community, their ghosts would be much more powerful. Is that correct?
Exactly.
All right. Now, the ghosts, they are mostly dressed in white, signifying the burial kimono used in the Edo period funeral rituals. The hair is often long, black, and disheveled, and it's believed to be a trademark of the kabuki, which is a classical Japanese dance drama.
Right.
Japanese women traditionally grew their hair long and wore it pinned up, and they let it down for the funeral burial.
Yep. Yurei are often shown as being accompanied by a pair of floating flames known as will-o-wisp or hitodama in Japanese. And they are shown in eerie colors like blue, green, or purple. Now, the flames are separate parts of the ghost and not independent spirits.
Interesting. Kind of like balls of light surrounding them.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Now, the other types of ghosts, the Anru is a vengeful ghost returning from purgatory for a wrongdoing to them while in life. The Ubume is a mother ghost who died during childbirth or died having left behind children, young children, often bringing them sweets. Goro is a vengeful ghost of the aristocratic class, especially those who were martyred.
Maybe like the emperors and stuff?
Right. Funayure is a ghost of those who died at sea, depicted as a scaly fish-like humanoid resembling a mermaid or a merman.
And that's pretty interesting, I think, because when do we ever hear anything about a merman?
No, not until now.
Right.
Jubakure is a rare yurei, not seeking to fulfill an exact purpose and are instead bound to a specific location or situation. A good example of this would be the story of Okiru and the haunting of Ju-on, or a movie all of you might know as The Grudge.
Oh, yes. And that movie, I heard, is kind of the make of the real ghost.
Right. Okay. Ikiru, folklore stating that not only the dead can manifest their reikon for hauntings, but living creatures possessing an extraordinary jealousy or rage can release their spirit as a ikiru, or living ghost that can enact its will while still being alive.
Wow, I'd like to do that.
Yeah, me too.
Send my ghost out while I'm still alive. Oh my gosh. All those ghosts of Japan, and they are quite different than they are here in the U.S. The paranormal is quite interesting in other countries and cultures for sure. Now let's talk about some hauntings and haunted places in Japan. And one of the most fascinating places to me is the Suicide Forest. I really want to visit that place one day, and I feel that it's probably haunted beyond belief.
Mm-hmm.
Tell our listeners about that one, Vincent.
All right. Aokigahara. It's a forest at the bottom of Mount Fuji, popular location for suicide. Also named the Sea of Trees, or Jukai. And it's located in the northwestern side of Mount Fuji on 12 square miles of hardened lava. The western edge of Aokigahara has many caves that fill with ice in the winter and is a tourist location. Now, parts of Aokigahara are dense, and the porous lava absorbs sound, so it helps provide visitors with a sense of solitude. The forest has a reputation as home for the Yurei, and because of that reputation, signs are posted at the head of some of the trails that urge suicidal visitors to think of their families and to contact suicidal prevention associations.
And you know, people who visit there, they often find clothing or body parts while exploring the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Some estimate that there are about 100 self-inflicted deaths there annually.
Yep, and there is a Vice documentary that speaks of a curse. A jack skeleton-like doll with his face cut off, nailed upside down to a tree as a sort of inverted crucifixion. Now, in the documentary, the character was upside down as a symbol of contempt for society. It's not uncommon for those killing themselves to leave behind a curse on the world or those people they left behind.
How fascinating.
The forest is very easy to get lost in. A compass and GPS are often useless under the canopy of the forest and or the high deposits of iron in its soil.
Then it would be to go in at your own risk.
Exactly. Some people, for this reason, string tape along behind them so that they can follow it and find their way out. One woman claims that her tape was cut, leaving her lost. Now, although she did make it out, there was a question of how the tape was cut. Possibly one of the Yuri.
You're right.
Okay. Hideo Watanabe is a shop owner at the entrance of the forest. And in an interview with Japan Times, he claims that not all who attempt to kill themselves succeed. And in one story, he told the magazine that a woman exited the forest with a rope around her neck, and her eyes almost popped out of the sockets.
Oh, that would be a terrible thing to witness for sure. Oh, my.
Okay, there's the old Chusetsu Tunnel. It's an infamous haunted tunnel said to have been a murder scene. The ghost of a murdered woman haunts the tunnel in one story and is said to be waiting to be laid to rest. Another similar story tells of a Korean woman who was murdered there before the war and pursues any Japanese person that dare come near the tunnel.
Oh, my.
Many visitors say that you can hear a voice saying, "Stop," before you enter the tunnel.
And, you know, I believe I've seen videos of this place, and it looks really spooky at night there.
Yep. Okay. The Oranbuchi, or Prostitute Gorge.
Oh, boy.
is said that the screams of women can be heard here. The site is in Yamanashi Prefecture, Japan, during the Seigoku era. The Takeda clan, or the Kai, was known to run gold mines there. Several brothels and prostitutes were there to entertain the miners and guards. After the Battle of Nagashino in 1575 CE, the Takeda clan was forced out of the area. But before leaving, the clan was said to have killed the prostitutes and workers so that then he would not find the mines. The Takeda leaders built a wooden bridge platform over the gorge and invited the prostitutes, 55 in total, to dance on the bridge.
Oh, wow.
Once they were on the platform, the ropes were cut, sending all 55 women screaming to their deaths.
Oh, my goodness.
Today, all visitors, especially the men, are warned about getting too close to the edge.
How horrifying that must have been. And, you know, there could be many spirits there from having died in such a tragic way. There are several temples in Japan. Let's talk, touch a little bit about one of those temples, Vincent.
All right. The Dororo is a very old village called Hachioji is where the remains of the Dororo